going to be wild, everyone. Fasten your seatbelts. The sprint to the caucus and the primary, and the numbers are going to shift every hour of the day. Stick around. We'll be right back. There are two really important states that really sort of focus on presidential politics. Obviously, it's the Iowa caucus and the New Hampshire primary.
Once again, we retain our traditional role as the first primary in the nation.
The beauty of New Hampshire was not only was that they were first, but then they understood that there was both responsibility and opportunity. And they cultivated it, they embraced it, and they then really insisted that candidates needed to be here, and the candidates did.
You like to meet them up close and personal, and that's what I like to do.
How are you? Nice to meet you.
We understand that we are the gatekeepers.
Oh, thank you.
That this is the most important election of our lives every time we choose in a primary, because we narrow that field. We may not choose them, but we'll definitely tell you who's not going to survive here. Understand what they got in New Hampshire. They got a relatively small geographic state, so they could actually go from the northernmost part of the state to the southernmost part of the state in a day. They didn't need a plane. They didn't need a train. In a big state, it's flyovers. In a big state, it's advertising campaigns. In New Hampshire, it's living rooms. It's Dunkin' Donuts. It's church basements where it's really mano a mano.
How you doing?
And frankly, it's the kind of thing I think that makes the candidate. It really is here where they learn about the American people. They don't learn it from their consultants. I hate to break it to you. Consultants suck. You know, they may be effective, they may cost a lot, but in the end, what makes you a better candidate are going to be those meets and greets where you're going to be asked the unexpected question.
That's an excellent question.
I've been seeing both the Democrats and the Republicans, and I think this is my 8th candidate. I think it's one of the joys of being here in New Hampshire.
The largest voter turnout, anywhere from 75 to 80%, will happen in the presidential primary.
We got our guy.
We don't trust big government or big church. This is a very libertarian state, and it's always been sort of quirky and different. There's a huge number of independents, undeclareds in New Hampshire. They represent 44% of the electorate here. That is bigger than Republicans. That is bigger than Democrats. They don't take marching orders from nobody. What happens on primary day is people go in. If they have never registered, they can either decide to register as a Republican or a Democrat on that day, and then make their choice as to who they want to pick.
There are some differences between the Democratic presidential candidates and how we bring about the change that this country needs.
If you look at these candidates, especially those that are coming to New Hampshire, they have 2 campaigns to run. They have to run the campaign for the base of their party, but then they know they also have to have a more interesting message for those undeclareds, that 44%, because they could make or break their campaign. You not only play to your base, you have to play for that je ne sais quoi in the middle, and guess what? In New Hampshire, you test that message. You see what resonates. We're kind of a microcosm of what it's going to look like when you go out for that November 2008 election.